But
all right. Now because you have some of the stuff that happens, I guess, maybe was actually funny, or at least you had interesting stories.
my wife thinks so. One story she likes is I was going up in I-Corps. English was a place that wasn't exactly in the Highlands, and it wasn't exactly in the Delta, but it was up in I-Corps, and it was a staging base for a lot of stuff. And they had, from what I could see, I only went there once, and it looked like a hodgepodge of a little bit of everything was in there. And I dropped a commander at a base, and he'd been running around. He was going to stay for a while, and I told him I was going to go up to English and refuel. Otherwise, he's got to go with me when I refuel and what have you. He said, yeah, okay, go. And I'm flying this OH-23, piston slapper, the wooden blades, slow airspeed, 72 knots. Now, keep in mind, you know, the Huey and the 58 I'm flying is doing 125 plus, and 72's kind of slow. And we're the slow stuff. C-130's doing like 300 miles an hour, and you know, just about everything flies faster than we do. And I called English, told them I was 5 miles out for straight in. It's okay, record quarter mile. Roger. Well, I'm plodding along. 5 miles at 72 knots takes a little bit of time. They call me back. You sure you're landing at English? Affirmative. Be advised, we don't have you in sight. Understand? Roger. Report quarter mile. Skids or landing gear down and locked. Guns cold. Roger. I keep plodding along. Finally, they called me back. Sundown, this is English. You that egg beater on the deck? That's affirmative. By the way, landing gears, or the skids are down and welded, 45's on safety, and magazine's out. And I hear him key up the mic, and all I can hear is laughing and guffawing. I'm quarter mile for landing. And I'm 72 knots. You're doing 72 knots, quarter mile don't last long. Okay. I can hear him key up the mic again. All I can hear is laughing. They're so broke up, they can't clear me for landing. I finally said, this is Sundown 13. If I'm clear for landing, can you brake squelch twice? I hear click, click. They couldn't talk to me. They were just busted up because I don't know what they thought I had, but yeah, my landing gear is rather down and welded. The only gun I got is my 45 and my survival vest, and magazine's out and safety's on. They just cracked up. Another time I came in and I was landing at Pleiku Air Base, and normally we parallel the runway, and we don't even take the taxiway. We go down the grass alongside the runway and parallel the runway, and down there they had a windsock and some other stuff, and if there's traffic coming in and out, they'd have us hold right there, and it's right across the runway from the main terminal. Then they'd have us turn, and we'd basically hover across that to the main terminal, set down. And I had dropped off whatever I came in for, and I was calling for clearance to depart. Well, he's giving me clearance tail backwards. Instead of telling me to hover back out and go, he's clearing me to go right over the top of the tower. And this is during the Vietnamization project. And they're trying to get the Vietnamese to do all this stuff. And so I asked him to repeat the departure instructions. He gives me the same instructions, and then he's a little brisk with me, and he says, if you can't make immediate departure, hold flat pitch, C-130 on landing roll. Roger, on the go. And I made max performance takeoff, went straight up, went right over the top of the tower, cleared top of the tower by, I don't know, 3-4 feet, because I'm not, and I'm not worried about it, because right behind them on the Air Force Base is 71st Evac. And I know how to low level out of there and clear their area and the whole bit. And I know where I cleared the tower and was getting into 71st Evac's area, and he's got to clear me for QSY or frequency change. And he comes back and he says, Sundown's Pleiku Tower in the future, if I give you that instructions, you can disregard. Another time I was down at Phu Cat, and that's on the coast down by Quinh Nhan, and we had, again, why they were down there, I don't know, but we had down there 2nd and 72nd, and they had 8 inches and 175s, big guns, sitting right on the edge of the Air Force Base. And I'm going into there. But you got to call the Air Force Base and tell them because you're under their control zone. I'm flying underneath them. And as I'm coming in to land, I hear the tower, and this is Vietnamese, clear an L-19 Bird Dog to take off on runway, say 18. And he clears the C-130 to take off 36. That's opposite ends of the same runway. So somebody calls the tower and advised them that they'd cleared aircraft to take off on the runway opposite ways. And the tower comes back and goes, oh, you all be careful out there, you hear? So the C-130 calls the L-19 and says, you take off. So he takes off because his prop wash and that's not going to cause the C-130 any difficulty when he takes off afterwards. But it was funny because just one of those things that happen, and